Have you heard that most video gamers are now adult women? Not those teenage boys in the basement we always hear about? Well, a new study says yes. Feminist tech writers have seized on the study as proof that the video industry has fallen behind the times. Too many games, they say, perpetuate a culture of sexism and misogyny. Well, has the gentle sex taken over video games? And are games rife with sexism? That's coming up next on The Factual Feminist. Now, when I took a look at the Entertainment Software Association study, I was a little surprised to find that yours truly, the factual feminist herself, was considered a gamer. Now, I do not recall playing a video game since maybe Pac-Man in a bar in Cambridge, Massachusetts around 1980. The study counted anybody who plays, however occasionally, just simple smartphone games like Bejeweled or Angry Birds. Now, I don't fault the researchers for these findings. I think it's great that the world of games is expanding and that there are more women creating and playing games. But a distinction is in order. There are casual game players and there are the hardcore gamers for whom highly complex competitive video games are a primary life passion. And adult women are not the key demographic here. Researchers at UCLA, they have been studying the pastimes of college freshmen for more than 40 years. Well, for incoming freshmen, 2013, 65% of the girls, but fewer than 19% of the boys said they never played video games at all in a typical week. Now, among the hardcore gamers who play more than 20 hours a week, the ratio of boys to girls is about 7-1. Now, this is a huge gender gap, and it has persisted for decades. Now, it looks as if this gender gap is fairly constant. Are there video games that are rife with sexism? Is that true? Do they promote a culture of misogyny and violence that must be dismantled? Well, my answer is no. I looked at the literature on gaming and I discovered that gamers do make a lot of people nervous. Not only are most of them male, but the games they play tend to be action-packed, highly competitive, often violent, and they play them a lot. Now, gamers have long faced disapproval from their own moms, from teachers, and above all, researchers and politicians, concernocrats, both liberal and conservative. Well, for years, games like Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty were said to cause violence, even though no one has been able to establish a clear correlation. Now, those concerns over violence have sort of died down, especially when the Psychological Bulletin published a major article in 2010 declaring the video game scare was, quote, much ado about nothing. And one graph showed that as video games have surged in popularity, youth crime has plummeted. Well, now gamers are dealing with a new army of critics, gender activists and, hipsters with degrees in cultural studies. And these critics are concerned that gaming is largely a heteropatriarchal capitalist pursuit. Why, they ask, isn't it more inclusive? Why must there always be male heroes? Why are females portrayed either as damsels in distress or sex objects? Now, these critics have made some useful points about sexist tropes and narratives, but they do a lot of cherry picking and they ignore the fact that the world of gaming has become inclusive. There are games that fit a vast array of preferences and games with responsibly proportioned and appropriately garbed female protagonists. Yet the video game gender police have become so harsh and intolerant, relentless. Many of them want more than women on both sides of the video screen. They want the male video game culture to die. Now, male gamers as a group do evince a strong preference for games with male heroes and sexy women. Now, could that be because they are male? There is no evidence that these games are making males racist, misogynist, homophobic. In fact, all the data we have suggests that millennial males, and these are people born and raised in video game nation, they're far less prone to these prejudices than previous generations. Now, imagine if a group of gender critics attacked women-centered shows like Oprah or The View or women's magazines for privileging the female perspective and marginalizing men, treating them as the other.
So what exactly are you criticizing men of in the video game industry? Of not being women? guilty.
I mean, the fans might be tempted to tell them to bug off, find your own shows. And that's what many gamers have done. And most did it with logic, evidence, and humor. But recently, 2 feminist critics received and publicized email death threats. Now, no one knows who sent them. There are millions of gamers, and I'm sure they include a few sociopaths, if it was indeed gamers who sent the threats. But many of the new culture critics have seized on the emails as a sure sign of patriarchal pathology at the heart of gamer culture. According to one academic pontificator, quote, "What we are seeing is the end of gamers and the viciousness that accompanies the death of an identity." Well, I have spent the last few weeks looking into the gamer culture, talking to gamers, looking at the data. I don't see pathology or imminent death. What I see is a lively, smart, creative subculture consisting mostly of tech-savvy guys from all over the world, but also including a small but distinct group of very cool women. Now, if you love games, they don't really care about your age, your race, your ethnicity, your gender, your sexual preference. They just want a game. My suggestion to their critics, stand down. Now, what do you think of the controversy over games? Let us know in the comments section. And if you appreciate these videos, please show your support by subscribing to the series and follow me on Twitter. Thank you for watching The Factual Feminist.